Hi everyone. We'll start in 3 minutes while others are joining. Hey, so I'm Manoj. I'm product manager at Lyzr.ai, and it's great to see you guys joining over here. So we'll start at 7:36, which is 2 more minutes, as others are joining. And it's going to be an interesting session because job search is such a is such a problem that I think everyone's facing, right? If you open any particular job post, you're going to have hundreds of applicants, and I've seen that even for job posts that have been posted for like less than 30 minutes, you'll have hundreds of applicants. So it's such a problem, and we're trying to decode it and figure out how do we crack it via agents. And if in the comments so that I can paste my call accordingly. Okay, it's 7:35, so I think we can get started. So yeah, I was talking about how job search is always has been such a problem, right? Like there are always hundreds of applicants, and we'd always have to figure out how we can have edge over others. And it can be by being very persistent, applying across different areas, or it could be by us using tech, using agents, or using AI to actually uh, outpace or outbeat others so that you can streamline your process, you can make sure you take shortcuts, you go with the right process, right strategy in order to apply for jobs and actually get the job you're looking for. So before we talk about jobs, let me talk about Lyzr. So Lyzr is an AI agents infrastructure company, which means it's a platform for you guys to come and build agents. And Lyzr provides you with everything that you need to build your agents. So it provides you end to end. That includes all the technical things like knowledge base, tools, if you want to connect multiple agents together, or if you want to observe. So Lyzr Agent Studio provides you with the platform, a drag and drop platform, in order to have all of these entities that make sure that you can build agents that's actually useful for you. And as part of Lyzr, we can build agents across industries, and you don't need to know how to code. So that's the best part. And it's drag and drop. It's fairly easy. And once you get a hang of it, I think you can build agents in minutes, not more than that. So I have a couple of use cases which I want to cover today as part of this session. And one of the use case could be is if you are applying for a job, and what everyone does is everyone has a resume, and the only way for you to have a head start against those who are just uploading resumes is by having your own portfolio. So think about an agent that's present as part of your portfolio website that contains all the information that's out there about you, and talks about your key areas of, let's say, whatever you've done till now. It shows all your projects. If you're a developer, maybe GitHub links or projects, website URLs that you have built, or applications that you have built. Or let's say if you're a product manager, then case studies that you've solved, right? So you could have all of those things built as part of your website. But if there's an agent out there that is out there to talk about you, if there's any questions, let's say by the recruiter, then it gives you an answer about you. That's something which is different and might give an edge towards you. So even in a funding at Lyzr, even in Series A, we built Agent Sam, which answers questions, everything about what Lyzr does, so that whoever's interested in investing in Lyzr does not go with the traditional approach, right? You always have to have something creative, something different, something out of the box in order to have edge over others. So that's one use case that I want to cover today. The second use case I want to cover today is how can I make the process of applying easy. So think about this: applying jobs is, if you have seen a few reels and a few videos that comes out on, let's say, LinkedIn and other social profiles, simply applying jobs on LinkedIn is the least effective way, because there are always going to be hundreds of applicants, and the recruiter, the hiring manager, doesn't go through all these resumes, right? So one way which is good and as effectively as, and the success rate is higher, is by reaching out and by asking for referrals. So if you have to reach out, you can obviously ask, you can send a connection request, and or you can send a note asking for a referral. But if they are not a connection right now, so LinkedIn always has a premium block where you can't request and put a note for everyone, right? So that's a problem. And the other alternative is, if we have their email ID, that makes a life simpler. And we can reach out to them via an email, and we can send out a follow up as well if required. So today I'm going to talk about this process where, using Lyzr, you're going to understand how do we streamline this better, how do we find emails, how do we make the process of writing up easy, so that you can properly write, depending on who the end user is, or depending on what the job role is. You can frame your email, or you frame the content that you're messaging via Lyzr itself. So these are the two use cases I'm going to cover today. So let me start with the first use case, where you have your own portfolio built. So for that, let's start building an agent that knows about you, right? So let me share my screen, and we can quickly get started. Yes. So if you look at this, this is Lyzr Agent Studio. And any one of you can simply sign up with studio.lyzr.ai. And I would want to make this session interactive. So if you're working along with me, then you can start building agents along with me, and you can actually see how it works, right? So as part of Studio, so you can simply log in, simply sign up with your email, and you get 500 credits. So these credits will help you out with every interaction with your agent, and to get started and to start using it, it is more than enough. So come to Lyzr, just log into studio.lyzr.ai and let me put it in the let put the link in the chat box as well. So once you sign up with Studio, you get to see a lot of options over here. But let's start with the most important, the most basic one, which is building an agent for you, right? So you can click on build a single agent, and we can call it, let's say, personal portfolio. And this is the agent builder screen, and it would contain all the important things that you require to tell your agent, right, or what it needs to do. So I can call it personal portfolio. I could give a description. I could skip it as well. But you get to choose a different set of models out there. You can go with the basics, or you can change it according to if you feel a different model might be relevant for this use case. So for now, I'll select GPT 4.1, and the screen that you see over here, this is the most important part: agent role, goal, and instructions. So this is the source of truth for your agent. So what I would suggest you guys is to type along with me while you're watching this video. So I'm going to spell it out as well. So you can simply say you are a, a profile portfolio agent that answers questions about Manoj. That's my name. So I just write this down. So, and I can simply write the instructions as uh, greet greet the user, and I would say answer questions about Manoj, and a recruiter is going to ask you questions. I'm going to keep it simple for the sake of time, and do not give false answers, because I don't want my agent to lie, because agents have a tendency to talk about something that's positive in nature. You do not give false answers. If there's no mention of any skill or experience, just tell that out. So I haven't even framed my sentences. So at Lyzr, we have an improve prompt button that you see over here. As soon as you click on it, it automatically changes your role and instructions, and it's more structured now. So if you look at this, if you read the instructions, it says greet the users warmly, confidently answers questions about Manoj, skill and experience, and avoid providing false information. And it also says be prepared for questions that a recruiter might ask. And now your agent instructions are ready. But what's important is your agent doesn't know about yourself, right, about me. So what I have to do is I have to create a knowledge base which stores information about me. So where I can add resume, my SOP, or any other information that I have about myself, I can feed this information to it as part of knowledge base. So if you're coming here for the first time, and then you might not have an existing knowledge base, all you need to do is click on create new. It takes you to a new tab, and you can start creating a new knowledge base over here. And when you start building this, like when you start clicking on create new, you get to see three options. You can stick with the first option, which is knowledge base, and as part of it you can give it a name. So let me call it Node resume. And you can go with the default. So Lyzr provides you with multiple options like vector stores and embedding models. So you can go with the defaults, and you can click on create. As soon as you do this, your knowledge base is created and ready. So you can add files, you can add websites, you can add text over here. Any unstructured data. When I say files, it supports documents, PDFs, text as well. So let's say, let me upload my resume as part of this. Click on this, and let me figure this out. Let me add this resume. I click on continue, and I click on upload. So if you look at this, the file got uploaded, and my and my knowledge base has information about that's a Srikant. So now I'll change this name as well, and I'm going to make sure that the portfolio for Shrikant is ready. So let me go back to my agent and let me refresh so that my knowledge base is available. I select this, and now there are a few other configurations that's available over here. So more the chunks, the better it is for resume, because now your information can be part of your resume somewhere hidden, somewhere small. So in this case, I will increase the number of chunks, and I'll keep the score threshold to a bit high. What it means is I want my knowledge base would score each and every chunk that it gets, every set of information that it gets, and gives a score. The chunk with the highest score, which has the highest element match as per what the question was, gets selected. So I would keep it as 0.5 to ensure that any chunk with score better than 50% gets shown, but anything less than 50% gets filtered out. So change this. Start. Yes. So once this is done, now you're almost there and your agent is almost ready. So you can enable memory, which makes this agent conversational. So it remembers all the previous conversation that I had. So if I say, what's the weather in Hyderabad? And as part of second question, if I say, how does it compare with Bangalore? It should understand that I'm talking about Hyderabad versus Bangalore in terms of weather, right? So without, if I didn't mention, let's say, Hyderabad or Bangalore as part of my second question. So memory makes the agent remember all the previous conversations. So now I've added all the necessary things required for my agent. They're going to have Lyzr obviously has tons of other features like adding tools, uh, adding different entities like adding voice, adding responsible AI, connecting to a database. So there are all a lot of features that's not relevant over here. So I'm going to skip that. And since my agent is ready, I can click on create over here. So once you click on create, my agent gets created. It gets hosted on on Lyzr Cloud, and the agent will have an endpoint so that you can use it externally as well. So as soon as I click on create, you'll see a testing screen on the right. Here is where I can test my agent. If I say, does Shrikant have coding skills? So now what it does is it goes to my particular resume that I've uploaded, and it goes and reads the content. And if you see over here, it says, yes, Srikant has coding skills. He's proficient in Python and has used libraries such as Pandas and NumPy. So all of this was mentioned in the resume. Hence, it was able to pick that information and give that out to you. So now your agent is ready. And in case if you want to fine tune, you can definitely fine tune. So you can parallelly update your instructions, click on save and test your agent on the right. And you can do this repetitively to ensure that your agent is doing what you're looking for. And now, since in the interest of time, I'm not going to fine tune this. So all I need to do is I need to go to Agent API, go to Inference, copy my API request available over here. So this is my curl endpoint for my agent. So if I go to, let's say, use it as part of any external application, I can call this endpoint. So every time a user asks a question, I'm going to call this endpoint so that Lyzr's agent gets called and the answer gets shown on the particular website or application. So you don't have to stick to Studio, and now your agent can be surfaced anywhere outside Lyzr. So this marks the building of the agent portion. Now I would want to cover it with how do I have a UI build out on top of it, right? Like I could use platforms like Lovable, Bolt, where I could have a website built out of this. But the intelligence is powered by Lyzr's agent. So coupling these two will give you a great portfolio that you can build for yourself. So, and at Lyzr, we're also going to have the UI builder layer for ourselves. So we're going to soon launch Architect. It's going to have a soon quick launch as well for an early release. So you can get your hands dirty on Architect, and it's going to be a game changer because you can now build agent powered apps that has front end, that has code, everything in one place. Rather just building the back end, you have an end to end application, And it's not just building it, but you can track and observe and look at uh, how your app is responding and look at all the logs. So Lyzr is a full stack platform that gives you everything that you need. So let me see if, and you guys can ask questions in case if there are any. So let me check and see if there are any questions. So yes, how do you publish this on your personal website, right? This is something which I want to show it right now. So all you need to do is, let's say, go to Lovable until Architect comes out. So you can open Lovable. So Lovable is a website that takes in your question and converts that into a website and gives you all the code as well. So it doesn't power the backend or doesn't have an agent. It's not powered by an agent, right? So what we're building is an agent can answer questions about you. So now we're going to integrate Lovable and combine it with Lyzr as well. So open Lovable. In case if you haven't signed up, you can sign it up. So here is the link, lovable.dev. Let me share it in the comments as well. And you can sign up and you'll get to this screen where you can simply type what you want to build. I can say I want to build a portfolio for myself, where it is going to be viewed by my recruiter. So I've attached my resume so that it can take necessary points and we can build the website. I've attached my resume and I want to emphasize on my career timeline, and I want to have a chat chatbot as part of my website. And whenever user asks a question to chatbot, it should call the following endpoint. So this is where I am going to uh, paste my copied. Give me a second. Paste my agent's endpoint that I've copied. So you get the curl request over here. So just to repeat again on how do we get this, click on agent API after your agent is ready. Go to inference tab, click on copy. And you can paste it over here. And you can tell it gives you answer in markdown format. So format accordingly. And what else? Now your agent can answer. Let me give a color theme as well. Follow dark color theme with minimal colors. So all I need to do is simply talk in English, simply say, this is my portfolio, recruiters are going to come. I want to show my career timeline. I want to have a chatbot as part of my website. If a user asks a question, I should call that particular endpoint, particular endpoint, so that Lyzr's agent gets triggered, and I can give a color theme as well. So let me attach the resume as well so that it can get the content out of it and the needful. Now that my resume is attached, I can simply click on send. So now Lovable is going to build a website for me. So this might take a couple of minutes. It might take a couple of minutes, and let's wait for some time while Lovable is thinking, generating the website, creating the code, and you can see the how it's thinking as well on the left. And once it's ready, you'll get to see the preview of the website on the right, and we can definitely talk to it, like give feedback. Let's say I don't like the color, let's say I want to change my initial let's say I want to change some things about my website. I can definitely talk to it and let it know. uh, One thing to remember is you're using free version of in case if you're using free version of Lovable, then I think you have only 5 entries, like 5 messages that you can send to Lovable. So what we could do is we can ask a collated question rather than asking 10 different suggestions 10 different times. We can collate all our suggestions and give it at once. So this is how we can use the free version and get the website built for this. And it's not just building the website. Now you can host that website as well, right? So it doesn't just give you the code. So you'll get a link separate for Lovable as well. So let me show you a Lovable link if I have. Think I don't have it. But yeah, let me show you how to actually have a website for this as well after this gets created. So now you can use this particular portfolio that you have built. You can add it as part of your resume, or you can add it as part of your LinkedIn profile. So, this gives you a better chance, because having a portfolio means a recruiter gets to know more about you. It's not just a written things in resume, but if they look at all the things that you've done, all your Git links, or all your uh, things, like case studies that you have solved, competition that you have won. So if you see all those things, if a recruiter sees those, it gives you an edge. And now when they see an agent also integrated as part of it, that's obviously going to pique their interest, and it's going to always going to give you an edge. So this is how like making a portfolio is really really helpful. And I suggest, no matter which area you're working at, having a personal portfolio always makes a difference. Feel free to ask questions if there are any. Let me see what it's thinking. So if you look at this, this is creating a CSS file, which is the styling file. It's creating a TypeScript file. I think we're almost there. Within a minute, I think we're going to have our website. While this is happening, let me go back to Studio and talk about different features that Studio has, right? It's not just building a simple agent like a knowledge base, right? You can have a lot of things that you can build using Lyzr. So you can connect to an API via tools that you see over here. So, so we support So we support MCP. If you have a specific API, you can add it as part of custom tool, or we provide a ready set of tools like Gmail, Slack that you see over here. So we provide a whole lot of tools that you could use as part of your agent. You can actually connect to your database, and you can ask a question in plain language, and your agent would go to the database, convert your question that is asked in plain English to a SQL, and get an answer for you. And other than this, you can connect multiple agents together. So let me show you how it looks actually. So if you look at this, this is an agent I built for myself. So since I'm a product manager, I use this agent day in, day out. So we get to see that there are four different sub agents working as part of my manager agent. This manager agent is supervising so that I get my job done. So this is how, like, you can connect, you can like create a complex or orchestration complex multi-agent system. And you can even connect multiple agents, like something like workflows, where you can drag and drop and build multi agent system like this. So Lyzr provides you with all the tools, and not just building, but even governing them. That includes generating test cases for your agent. That includes observing your agent in terms of if it has any issues, if you want to look at your analytics. So Lyzr is a like end-to-end agent lifecycle platform that supports this purpose. Let me go back to Lovable. I think this is ready. So if you look at this, it followed what I've instructed. So Srinath is a data analyst, so you get to see the name in bold, you get to see the portfolio, you get to see the career timeline, and you get to see these are the things that I've asked. And if I have anything separate that I wanted to show, for example, these are my projects. Maybe I can give a link to my project. So these are the things that I can add as part of my Lovable chat, and it gets added to my website. So you have an ask AI assistant over here. This is the part where Lyzr comes. So I can simply ask a question like, uh, say, hmm, what did she can do as a founder? What happens is it actually calls an agent in the background. So if you look at this information, what actually has happened is it called the Lyzr's endpoint. So it called this Lyzr's endpoint, and you can actually see it in your traces also. It takes a few seconds for traces to come up. So let me see. So if you look at this, the question is visible over here as part of this trace. So what did Shrikant do as a founder? So this way, your Lovable's website is integrated with Lyzr, and you've powered up your agent, and this is how simple it is to actually build an agent and have a website also. And once you have architect from Lyzr coming out, then you can do all of this together as part of Lyzr itself. You can simply talk to it and your agent gets built. So we want to make the process fully simple rather than us going to the agent builder and manually typing, manually configuring each and every module. Architect is going to make that very simple. So this marks the part of building a website for you. So you have a publish button over here. So as soon as you click on publish, you get to see that your website gets published and you'll have a URL for your particular website, right? So now you can add it as part of your resume. As I said, you can add it as part of your LinkedIn profile. You can make a post out of it. So you can do a whole lot of things that can catch recruiters' eye, right? So this marks my first use case, and I'll take a pause over here, and I'm happy to take any questions if there are. Okay, so I'll move on to my second use case that I'm talking about. So one of the best ways to reach out and have a higher chance in getting to the next step rather than just simply applying and waiting. One of the best ways to actually get into the interview round is actually by finding referrals or finding hiring manager, or like reaching out to them and cold calling them or cold emailing them, so that like cold messaging them or cold emailing them, so that you can catch their attention. You can talk about brief highlights of yourself, so that you can catch their attention, and that might work, and that they might take your they might give you a referral, or they can take you to the first round, or they can convert your profile if they feel that you are suitable for the given job. So this way you can get an edge over others. But the tougher part is, how do we get emails? How do we reach out to them? So one of the ways is, let's say if you are looking for, let's say, job at Lyzr, what do? You go to Lyzr.ai's, let's say, LinkedIn profile. You look at all the different job roles as part of LinkedIn jobs, and you might see different jobs present as part of it. And now you can typically go and apply. But if you're looking for referrals and if you don't have a connection request, you can definitely message them. But always LinkedIn has a problem, right? You have to send a connection request and wait for them. And in some cases, for some users, you can't even send a long message as well. So one of the better ways to reach out is via emails. So what you need to do is, you can use external platforms like hunter.io. So let me give you the link over here. So you can sign up. You can sign up using hunter.io. And what you need to do is, you can go to the finder section over here and enter the company's URL or company's domain. So I've actually searched for Lyzr as part of this example. So as soon as you do this, or you can actually add a individual's email as well. So if you look at this, what it did is, it gave you the list of emails present as part of Lyzr, and now you can actually unmask this. The reveal costs you a bit of credits, and I think you have certain set of credits. I think you get 50 credits, so you can use this in order to get their emails. And once you have their emails, now your life becomes simpler. Now you can send emails to them, talking about the job, talking about which job you're trying to apply, talking about yourself, and you can try to push yourself, showing more and more proofs, stating that you're actually suitable for this job, and you have a higher chance of converting. So let me talk about how an agent comes into this loop, right? So in order to do this, this is a very long process, very repetitive process. It's not like you send one email to, let's say, one employee and you keep waiting and you're looking for results. So you have to be very persistent in nature. You have to reach out to many folks. You have to reach out to different companies in order to do this. So, so the best way to simplify this process is to have agents for you. So you can build different agents that can solve your problem. So let's say I want to generate an email where it takes in my resume, figures out who I am, and it can draft a compelling email depending on the job description that I give. That's one use case. And I can have a follow-up email as well as an agent, which understands the previous email draft and does a follow-up email, like create a follow-up email so that you can send it out to the as via mail. Because other than this, you can have a LinkedIn cold message generator as well, which generates a cold message on how to reach out if you're directly reaching out via LinkedIn message while you're sending a request. And you can even like structure this, maybe like add as part of your Notion, where you can connect with Notion as a tool. And we support a lot of tools, and we can connect to Notion as a tool so that you can create checklists or to do, or you can mark them, unmark them, everything from here itself. So an agent has capability to connect to such tools and uh, actually like update those tools or add pages, create pages, add content, delete content. So you can do all of these things sitting in one place rather than going to different places. Since this is a repetitive process, it's better to have agents built for each of this purpose. And what I've actually done is, before I walk in to show you how to create this each and every agent, what I've done is I've actually created a workflow where I've connected multiple agents together. So if you look at this, I've created a multiple agents where one of my agent reads my resume and I give an input stating what I want. I could say I want to draft a cold email, and it goes to my router where it has all the different use cases that I could do, right? Like, I could draft a cold email, I could draft a LinkedIn cold message, I could have more and more different routes and different agents connected to this. So how this works is I should have all these agents built before I come over here. So all I need to have these agents built before I come over here so that I can connect them and I can have the entire pipeline ready for myself. So if I take the same example over here, it reads my resume, it takes my input, it understands what I want, it goes into my router, and if I said I want to draft a cold email, it goes to the cold email route that you see over here. So the cold email route goes to my email drafter. It will draft my email, and I could add my job description over here. If you look at this, this is a staff product manager role that I wanted to add. So it drafts the email and then it updates my Notion as well. If I if I did this, let's say if I would do this from a cold message generator, it reads my resume. It again goes to my. It depends on my inputs. If I said cold message, it goes to my router. It goes to the cold message. It goes to this agent, and it then updates to my Notion as well. And I can even send an email directly from here as well. So my email drafter could be connected to my email agent. Post verification, if I like it, I can actually send an email also. So this way, I'm automating my process, or I'm like structuring my repeated process that I want to do day in day out. And it's always better to use these agents. And you can if you have, let's say, LinkedIn Premium or access to different APIs by actually buying those plans. Since I wanted to do a workshop, I wanted to show you all the things that's possible via free tools. Hence, I've been showing all the basic things that you could do via whatever we can do via free tools. But once you have access to, let's say, LinkedIn Premium or other things, you can actually use their APIs, and you can automate process, you can run schedulers, and you can do a lot of things that actually reduces your work and automates things. So let me go back before I build a workflow. Let me go back to my agents and let me show you how to build these agents, right? So I have a resume reader agent. So if I show you this agent, what it does is, I didn't even give a lot of instructions. If you look at this, I just said read the resume present in the knowledge base, and I've added my resume over here. And why this is important is, every time I'm drafting an email, this particular that particular agent should have all the information about me so that it can draft better content, better mail. So I have this agent built, which is fairly straightforward, and I have an agent that drafts cold emails. Right? I can open this, and if you look at these instructions, I said you're expert at email drafting. All you need to do is analyze my profile, look at the job description that I'm giving. Give me a second. Look at the job description that I'm giving. I can say emphasize on my achievements and skills, try to be friendly, and try to make it short, concise, and to the point. And if the email is good, maybe we can send that email as part directly from here itself. So you can do this, and now this, you can connect that previous agent where it reads my resume and connect to this agent, which via workflow which I've shown. And now you get a multi-agent system that's working for you. And in case, as I said, if you want to connect to tools like Gmail, you can click on add. And if you've already added Gmail as a tool, you'll see it over here. and you can get to see all the different actions available. For example, I want to send an email, right? I'll select Gmail, send email, I click on connect, and my tool gets added. So this is how you can power up your agent with more and more capabilities. Now let's say, if you're ready with your email drafting agent, now let's talk about email follow-up agent, right? So the previous agent's output could be an input to this, because my follow-up should not repeat the same lines that I've mentioned earlier, right? So my follow-up agent should take in my previous input and maybe keep it more concise this time, so that I am more persistent. I'm like it's always good to follow up. Maybe the person you're mailing might be busy, wanted to actually help you out, but actually forgot because they had some other work. So follow up is always good. So you can have an agent for follow up where you could simply give instructions stating, read the last email, keep this brief, and just do a well structured email. And now this agent is also ready. All, and as I said, you need to enable memory to make it more conversational in case if you have to talk to it. And you can have your Notion connected, as I said. And if you look at this, I said you need to update the content as part of the page title hiring plan. So you can explain what do you want to add. So I can add that I've sent this email to so and so person for so and so job role, but now I want to follow up them, right? So if it is there, if it is written, and if it is marked that okay, you have done the first part, after 5 days you need to do the second part, so that you can again follow up. So you can have all the documentation, a to do, so that you can manage all the job applications better, because you're not going to do it once, you're going to do it multiple times. So it's better to have it documented so that you don't forget on following up. And the way to add Notion is similar. You can connect your tools, but what we've done different is there is a Notion MCP server for Notion. So you can go to here, click on Add MCP server, and add Notion's MCP server details over here. So a Notion has a public MCP server that allows you to actually get information, get all the tools and capabilities that Notion has to offer. So all you need to do is come over here and just copy the Notion's MCP server. Let me give you this link. So you can add your Notion, copy the Notion's MCP server, go back to your agent, add the server details over here, enable auth, and your Notion gets added over here. I've already added Notion, since I'm not doing it again. So get to see Notion added over here, and you get to see all the capabilities as part of Notion as well. So this is how you can build multi-agent systems. So let me show you how do you connect these agents, right? So you can go to workflows, and you can click a create new workflow, and you can drag and drop all the agents that you've built. So all you need to do is click on agents, drag and drop it, and let's say first thing that I want to do is it should read my resume, right? Add resume reader, and I click on save changes. Now, after reading my resume, I want my agents to do different things, right? Sometimes I want a follow up email, or sometimes I want my agent to draft a cold email, or sometimes I want my agent to reach out via LinkedIn, right? Like a LinkedIn message. So, depending on different use cases, I want to do different things. So, I can have a router which is like a switch case where I can simply say cold email and add a route. And the second thing is follow up email. Can add a name. And third is I want to cold message. Click on save. So depending what my input is, it understands which agent to call. It goes to the switch case route by connecting these two, and then it understands which agent to call. And now let's connect different agents for this purpose, right? So, so I want to connect this particular agent to cold email, and I select which agent I want to do it. I select cold email drafter. I click on save changes, and my agent gets added. Similarly, I can add one more agent. I can connect follow up email, and I can have my follow up email mentioned over here. Similarly, let me add my cold message as well. And then you can add it over here. Click on save. And this way you can keep on adding things. So this is how you can build workflows. So let me show you, since I've already built one, let me show you how it works when you start executing it. So I've given an input, as you can see over here. So I said you have to draft a cold email. You can read my resume as well. So I just need to click on run, and it starts executing. So this particular, what it does is it goes via each and every step. First, it goes to resume reader, as you see over here. After this gets executed, it goes to the next step, which is the router, and then it goes to the email drafter. So you can see all the logs over here. You can get to see all the things that's happening over here. And if you look at this, you get to see the output, right? So you get to see the output of the first agent, which reads my resume, finds out all the information about me over here, and then it sends this information to the next agent, which is the router. And it found out that I was talking about, let's say, cold message, and it went to the cold message with limits. So this is how like a workflow runs one after the other. So like, this gives you an edge. This helps you save time rather than you going to, let's say, a GPT, writing this all of this again and again, doing this every time. Now you have a reusable set of agents that knows, that has a purpose, that doesn't do anything else, and it does things better. And you have access to all the different models out here. We're model agnostic. You can use Anthropic, you can use Google, you can use GPT. So you get access to all these models, and now you can use this in order to make the process of searching a job easy, because now you can apply to different job roles. You can find emails, and now you can track them, and it makes your life very easy. So I'll take a pause over here in case if there are any questions. More than happy to answer. And this YouTube video is going to stay over here. I know it's live, but it's going to stay over here. So you can always come back to this. I know I've covered things a lot faster. In the interest of time, I wanted to show you different agents and different use cases, and different things that you can build via Lyzr, right? Okay. I don't see any questions. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover. So I want you guys to explore Lyzr. I've given you the product link. Just play around with it, and it's not just about hiring, right? You can build agents in your own work. You can use agents for your own personal productivity. So agents don't have a specific area where it excels, right? Like Lyzr is a horizontal platform where you can build agents that serves different purposes, not just personal, but even work. Even in work, it can cater to different industries. And you have a lot of things like blueprints, different ready-made templates as well, that helps you to not start from scratch, because now you have a ready-made template that you can clone and build from something that's already there. So feel free to log in, sign up, and start using Lyzr Agent Studio. And agents are the future. Agents is how a lot of things are going to be. Agents are very intelligent, very clever in nature, and it's not just user-facing agents, right? A lot of agents are in the background. So, agents 2025 is the year of the agents, and even I think next decade is also is for the agents. So, I urge you guys more and more to start using agents, and finding job is just a use case. It's just a part of this use case. Thank you. Hope you guys had a great session.